Get that. Okay. I think we're recording. Recording. Okay. So tonight's call, I would like to welcome a special guest, somebody that I look up to so much in this business. She said her bio, but I think more important than that, than any accolades or background or anything, is just to know that she is a leader and she leads with so much integrity. And I look up to her so much, and I'm so excited for her to talk to us tonight. But she is a mother to Marley and DJ, a wife to Danny for 16 years, the co-founder of Diesel Nation. And our team likes to have fun, but Diesel Nation, I feel like, can have a good time too. So I love, love, love their team and what they stand for and the community that they've built, the example that they set. She is 7-time elite, a millionaire club or legacy club, former cab member, and is a CEO award recipient. So I told my girls, this is a legend coming on, so you better be on this call. But just so excited to hear from her, to hear her story and the wisdom that she is going to impart on our team. She's going to talk about, I asked her to talk about kind of year end. So she's going to talk about the mindset to not only crush your year-end goals, but beyond that as well. So I am just going to turn it over to you, Kristina, and let you take it away. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. You guys, it's a great honor for me to talk to you guys. This team, this whole organization inspires the living out of me every single day. I study you guys. I think that what you are doing is amazing. So I hope and pray that what I share with you guys tonight, you can take home and implement and get into the right mindset to finish this decade with a bang. But, like Heather just said, more importantly, take this into 2020 and rock your world with this business like it has for me. And hopefully that you'll feel really ignited to do that. So I'm going to start with my story because I totally understand that not everyone has heard it before, and it always gets me in the right mindset to share my wisdom with you guys. I've been in the business now for 9 years. My sister Becky, she signed up it was July of 2010 when she signed up. I swear time flies, you guys, isn't it crazy? She stumbled onto the opportunity after having done P90X. Our best friend Elaine lent her the DVDs. She had 2 kids at home and wanted to get in shape. And at the time that she did this, I was watching her do this. I was a full-time attorney. I practiced medical malpractice litigation here in Miami. It was always my dream to be a lawyer ever since I was a little girl. I remember from like 2nd grade on, it was what I was going to do with my life. And so I checked all the boxes. I did all the things. I got through undergrad at the University of Miami, went to law school. I married my high school sweetheart. And then 4 years into the practice is when we started our family. But I had the worst habits of life. Eating habits were terrible. I was a pack-a-day smoker, everything bad that you can imagine on top of having a stressful job. That was me. And it was during this time that I was having Marley and that my sister did P90X. And I saw myself through her. My sister has, if you know her, her name is Becky Brose. She's my Fitspiration. 40, almost 45, and she looks like she's 25 and has like this incredible body. So she's always been this Fitspiration. So back then, I saw her go through this program, and it inspired me. Unfortunately, or fortunately, got pregnant with DJ, but during that pregnancy was when I drew the line in the sand with my health and my fitness going forward. I had DJ, and I remember like as soon as I could, I started kind of dabbling in exercise. But when I had to go back to work, reality set in, and I didn't have the time anymore. I had an hour commute to and from the 2 kids, Danny, my legal career that was on a great trajectory. And I just couldn't wrap my head around doing a program. And especially back then, our programs were all 45 to an hour long. But what I could control was Shakeology. And Becky introduced me to Shakeology. And literally it's what changed my life and what changed my business early on when I decided to go for it was the impact that it had on me. I right away, you know, from making the decision to making sure that I was extremely consistent in drinking it, I felt better. I had more energy. I wanted to eat healthy. Little by little, I started getting, you know, the desire to start exercising. And so I started dabbling with our workout programs. But, you know, even when Becky said, you know, sign up to get the discount, I still wanted nothing to do with the business opportunity at the time. I'm hearing like a little, no, never mind. And so Becky said, it's okay, sign up for the discount. And little by little, people started noticing the change in me, and I started dabbling in the business. I was really passionate about Shakeology. I still am. I still think it's the bread and butter to our business, that it is what grew our team. It is what grows our income primarily. Now we have this great dynamic product line, but back then it was everything for me. And so I did want to sign up for the discount, but the business wasn't anything that I wanted to be a part of. Remember, I was an attorney. I had all these preconceived notions about the business opportunity, but my sister wanted me to attend a Super Saturday with us. So one of my tips right now, if you want to get into the right mindset to crush your goals, is we have Super Weekend this weekend, right? Like it is such an amazing opportunity for you guys to get into our community, into the environment, and inject yourself with that belief. So don't pass this opportunity to hit your local Super Saturday or Super Sunday this weekend, you guys. That it literally is what changed the whole trajectory of my business, was going to that event that January, where I got to feel and hear and see the success stories of the physical transformations, of financial transformations. I got to see at that point that this business was actually a real business, and that perhaps this could be the conduit for it changing my life. But I didn't even hit Success Club that month, which still blows my mind. I would be 1 month ahead of, or actually with my sister in our Success Club streak had I hit that January. But it didn't happen. I started hitting in February, and it's been 100 and I think 5 months in Success Club or something like that. But I say that just because it was a decision that I made that February to say, enough's enough. Use this opportunity for everything it can offer you. And one of those first things was going on the Success Club trip. Back then it was this one trip, you maybe have heard, it's the unicorn trip, to the Atlantis in the Bahamas. And being there, being surrounded by people who were having mind-blowing success in the business was incredibly inspiring to me, especially as someone who literally had just started their business, just started the story. I was nowhere near where they were, but I started to see it for myself. I started to believe it for myself because I already had this incredible belief in Shakeology and obviously our fitness programs, because I saw all this success of 50 pounds, 100-pound weight loss journeys that were so incredibly inspiring to me. But I wanted to kind of highlight this one particular story tonight, because as I think back, you guys, it's been 9 years. And Heather said all the things that I've accomplished, you know, elite, multiple years, legacy club, you know, CEO, I was on CAB, which is to me one of the most tremendous honors a coach can have. All of that stuff. I will say that when I look back, I pinpoint it to this one conversation that I had at my first leadership. And so if I can inspire you guys to get there, to get to every event that you can get to talk to people. You have an opportunity this weekend. You have NLC coming. I think many of you are probably pushing for that. Get there. You have the next Success Club trip. Get there. You have Summit. Get there. You have leadership next year. And I'm being annoyingly redundant because it was at my first leadership that I had a life-changing conversation, and it was with Scotty Hobbs, who many of you may know who he is. He was one of the first coaches that Lindsay Matway signed in her organization who had wild success. And so I saw him on social media before going to leadership. And so I was nervous to talk to him because he had already started paying off his mortgage and doing all these cool things. And I was relatively a newbie. I sat at breakfast. We had the workout, one of the workouts in the morning. Danny and I sat at breakfast, and he and Gabby sat with us. And I was like, oh my God, it's Scotty Hubbs, right? And I was totally freaking out. And he was as nice can be. And we started talking about the compensation plan. I immediately started to cringe. I was like, don't ask me how much I earn. Like, it's so weird. Like, in the legal world, you don't ask. Heather, you know, you don't talk salary in like real world. Nobody asks those things. But in Beachbody land, everybody's like, hey, how much do you make? Hey, what's your rank? Hey, all this. And I'm like, don't ask me. I was so embarrassed. I felt embarrassed because I already knew how much he was earning based on his social media posts. And he said a few things to me that literally just melted my mind and changed the way I thought about this opportunity for the rest of my career. And he told me that he had started making $2,000 a week. Now, I know you've seen, people that make a bazillion dollars in the business. I get it. But think about this. I'm sitting there. I am I think a 1-star. I think back then the qualifications were different for leadership. I'm sitting there about a 1-star, maybe even a fallen 1-star diamond coach. I'm earning roughly $200 to $300 a week, which is nice considering that we were broke. I wasn't making enough money as an attorney to cover bills, and that was helping us tremendously. I will never take that for granted, right? Ever, ever, ever. But he said, oh, and by the way, back then, I'm sure some of you know this, that you'll hit like $300 a week or $200, and then the next week it's like $3.50, and you're like, what happened? Like, that was my world back then, right? So I didn't know that this whole thing can like exponentially grow. But he says, so I opened my second business center and I doubled my income. And I went, what? What's a second business center? And he just explained the whole thing to me. Remember, I wasn't really taking this business as seriously as he was already. So right then and there, I was mind blown. He knew more about the opportunity than I did. And that's why he was succeeding more than I was, because he was treating it like a business. And I'll never forget, it was that day that he told me that the second business center, that you can place it on your weak leg and that will grow your volume, and that he was able to double his income when he opened his second business center. That, just him saying that, changed my life. And from that point forward, it didn't matter to me how much money I was making on a weekly basis. It was where I was going. And I just put my head down and I got to work. And I started looking at this in a long-term sense, which everybody needs to, right? Because we get very goal-oriented and we get short-sighted in the business opportunity, when what we should be doing is looking way far ahead. However, and I want to talk about what I did to get from that moment where I was earning $200, $300 to where I was, I guess I would say, to about 2014 when I retired from the practice of law, a good solid 2 years. I want to share what I did. And it was part of it, a lot of it, were setting and executing on goals, right? So we need to, I think that a lot of times we get so short-sighted, and it's Success Club, right? We have to hit Success Club, or we want to hit Diamond, or we want to do this, that we get too wrapped up in that, and we're not thinking about the long term. Or maybe some of us are too focused on the long term and not thinking of how the goals and executing those goals impact the long-term vision. Do you guys follow? So you got to have a good combination of both. And before I get into my mindset and what I did from 2012, that conversation, to retiring from the practice of law in 2014 and beyond, I want to ask you guys a question. And I want you guys to answer in the group chat. Because a lot of what you're going to tell me in the group chat is probably going to be very similar to what I did to grow my business, which proves you already know how to do this. It absolutely proves that it's already within you, that you just have to dig it out, and that you can smash any goals that you have that you need to happen right now for the end of the year and into 2020 and beyond. If you already were earning, let's say $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week in the business, picture that. If you were already earning 2,000 to 4,000, whatever number, I don't care what number it is, in the business, how would you treat your business on a daily basis? Answer in that group chat. How would you act? Tell me. I know some of you are like, some of you are new coaches and I might have just blown your mind. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing that I'm sharing this story with you. But some of you that have been doing this for a long time that might feel stuck or might feel like you can't accomplish this goal that's about that we have a deadline coming, or that you don't know, quite frankly, what you want into the future with this business, just tell me, like, what would you do if you were already making to your dream income with this opportunity? I mean, okay, keep pushing. Make it my number one priority. Let's see. Take it seriously. Number one priority, sacrificing to grow it more. Show up every day. I would show up. It would definitely be a bigger priority. I would work my butt. I want people that are watching the recording to be able to see what some of the comments are. Top priority and focus. Like I had hit it way more seriously, like a CEO, passionately, consistently, like the CEO of my business. I work every damn day. Some of you are cursing. I love it. A bigger priority, like my livelihood. Okay, do we see where we're going here, everybody? That's exactly what I did. I just put my head down, and it didn't matter that I was making $200 or $300 or $3.50 when it would drop down magically, and I didn't know why that happened. I just kept going. I just kept going, right? And it is all within you, and you could all do this because you know. Now, raise your hand in the chat, who works a full-time job? Who works a full-time job like I did when I started this business? Okay. And I was a peon attorney, so I went into work, I busted my ass, I collected a paycheck, right? Do you collect a paycheck every single week? Okay. So I know, because I'm sure we are all very similar, that in your full-time job, right? In your full-time job, that you will bend your ass over backwards to satisfy your boss's needs, to do what needs to get done. Because I remember being a peon attorney when I was with a baby at home with a 2-year-old, and he would say, well, I need you to stay till 10 o'clock at night because we need to get ready for this hearing tomorrow. And I would call my husband and say, babe, I'm going to be late tonight because my boss needs me and I'm going to get the job done no matter what. Anybody ever been in that position? Anybody do that constantly? So why is it, sorry, I'm getting like fired up. Why is it that we don't treat our own business that way? Why is it that we don't sacrifice for our paychecks? Why don't we do the work to get more? Why don't we set more exciting goals for ourselves? Our bosses are out there hustling and gaining more business and doing the stuff, and we're just serving their needs when we have an opportunity of a lifetime to become whoever we want with this opportunity. We literally get to choose who we want to become, how we want to serve, how we want to grow it, how we want to build our teams. We get to do all that. We're the CEO. We're the pinnacle of our destiny with this opportunity, and we don't treat it that way. Why? Because you don't believe that you can already earn $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, and that's the problem. The problem is your belief system. And that's where you have to do the most work. So I'm going to give you how I feel that I got my belief system in check in order to be able to, into those 2 years, retire from the practice of law, come home to my family. My baby was diagnosed with autism, and I wanted to be his mom. I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. I didn't want to go to court anymore and fight other people's nasty battles. I wanted to be his mom, and it was Beachbody that gave me that identity. The first one is I had to stop treating the business like if it was an option. and start treating it like a business. You've heard this before. You have absolutely heard this before. But even though you've heard it a million times and all your coaches have told you that you got to treat it like a business, you got to be a CEO, you still don't do it. And I remember that day in leadership, talking to Scotty Hobbs, someone that had just walked the path before me, saying, I did this, I learned the comp plan, I learned how to leverage it, I got to 2-star, I opened my second CB. It was like, boom, boom. I'm like, I don't know those things. That's why I don't earn that much money. I don't know those things. And if I knew those things, then I would know how to leverage the comp plan and get my ass there quicker. I went home and I did the stuff. I started treating it. I learned the comp plan. Now it's my jam. Like, I love our compensation plan. Get to a point where you love it too, and you better believe that you will become the CEO of your business and know how to make more money. That gets exciting, you guys. That gets exciting. Don't treat it like an option. If I were to list everything that Beachbody has done for you, I bet it would blow your mind. And if you're new, it's going to get there, I promise you, because it always does. If you engage, if you run away, this doesn't happen. If you engage with your team and you engage with the programs and you go to the events and you do all these things, this will happen to you. You'll be happier. You'll be more positive. You'll have more friends. You'll get to travel. You'll make money. You'll look fabulous. I mean, all the things. So why do we treat it like an option? Treat it like the solution to everything that we need in life, and it'll help change your life. And I did that. And I still do that, by the way, every single day. You have to have that long-term vision, right? Remember, I told you I was earning $200-300 a week, but I didn't care because it was where I was going that mattered. However, you still need to set goals that stretch you and that excite you. And that's where we are right now, right? It's the end of the year. Now, some of you are setting yourself up for Premier, Elite, Team Leader, NLC. Everybody can be in a different position here, right? They have to stretch you. So I want you to overshoot your goals. I want you to set bigger goals. I want you to dream bigger than just this goal, but you also have to set the goals and draw the line in the sand. I have seen crazy things in this business. People that want to get to an event and they need 1 star or they need whatever, and in a week they make it happen. Why? They drew the line of this in the sand. They just made a decision. And this business is all a series of decisions that have to become non-negotiables for you, right? I set exciting and big goals for my team that kept me moving forward. So understand that all of this serves a purpose, right? Premier and Elite and rank advancements, it all serves a purpose of getting you to your big vision. So in those 2 years, that's when I started hitting Elite, right? When I started my streak of hitting Elite, I believe in the Elite program. It keeps you in the trenches. It keeps you growing. It keeps you in the know. It keeps you understanding the changes and the transitions of social media, because you have to, right? We got to keep growing. I also set rank advancement goals, right? Because I had to set the pace for my team during that time. So think about all your goals and all these steps that you are taking currently right now and into the future, how it all sets you up, right? And sets up your team for growth, for future growth, okay? Number 3, I had a relentless mindset in accomplishing these goals. Like I said, there's people that blow my mind. They're like, I want to be diamond. They do it in a week. Other people, I want to be diamond. They do it in 5 years. And then you know what I mean? Like, if you want it, you got to draw the line in the sand and you got to execute. Everything in this business can be figured out. Another thing you've heard a whole bunch, and it is absolutely true. When you want it so badly, you will figure out how to make it happen. And one thing I wrote down that made me giggle, but it's the truth, and I feel like sometimes we've lost this, almost in the network. If I had a goal that I wanted to accomplish that served this big vision that I had for my life, I had a plan to get there, a backup plan for that plan, a plan for my backup plan to make sure that that goal got accomplished. I feel like we've gotten a little bit soft. I feel like people are like, oh, I set the goal, I missed the goal. Oh, well, no, you're not serving your big vision by saying, oh, well, you are better than that, right? If you want this to happen, you are in control. Steer the freaking ship, communicate, and make it happen. Number 4, stop justifying everything. How many times have you heard someone or even yourself say at this time of the year, this is just the hard time of the year? And so you justify a lower activity level. You justify the fact that you can't sponsor coaches. You justify why you can't hit that goal. You justify everything. You justify yourself out of your business. We've got to stop those activities. Get into solutions-oriented, problem solving, and growing to get better mode. And none of those justifications are actually reality. You guys, they're all made up stories in our head. So stop justifying. Get real with yourself right now. Tonight, when we get off this call, I want you to get real with what exactly it is needs to happen for you to accomplish these goals map it out, completely map it out. Get real, get strategic, get creative, get into CEO mode, because this stuff's important, you guys. The momentum that you create now sets you up for the next year, right? Think about, visualize yourself in January. It's always around January 6th or 7th. Sometimes I'm on vacation during that time and I get a call from my corporate mentor and I'm like, it's the call. And they're telling me, which I already knew, but you've hit elite. And it's magical to know that every step in a year has led to that moment, and you sit there and you're like, we did it again. And it all serves I'm gonna get emotional, but it serves a purpose in the long-term vision that you have for life. So don't get soft when it comes to doing that, and stop justifying the time, or stop justifying the work that I can't because this, that, and the other. Yes, you absolutely can. And then number 5, what helped me get into, from the $200 a week to being able to retire from the practice of law and beyond, is when you start to feel yourself slip, which is very normal, you guys. I know a lot of people, even I've been told from leaders on my team that, oh, you're a machine. I'm sure Heather, Emily, Ashley, all the amazing leaders on this team, you probably have this vision in your head that they're like a machine, right? That they don't have emotion, that they don't have dips, that they don't have struggles, that they don't have doubt about their leadership, that they don't go through. They do. I do. There are times where I have days where I'm like, okay, I can't do this right now. And what I do is, number 1, self-awareness is key. So be aware of when those things are happening, but get into a state of gratitude. And immediately force yourself into a state of gratitude, and journal and write down everything that this business has provided you and that will provide you into the future. And I promise you that'll snap you out of any mindset that's going to limit your forward progress. And perhaps you need to do that right now, because it's a confusing and conflicting time when you're trying to accomplish a goal and you feel like you can't do it, or there's something that's going to hold you back from accomplishing that goal. I betcha if that you stop tonight and get into a state of gratitude, pure, unfiltered gratitude, where you look at everything that this opportunity has already given to you, or will provide, and the friendships and the love and the community and the growth that you have experienced this far, that will put you into a position to crush your goals. And remember that going forward, because this is not a walk in the park, nor should it. Nor should it. Just like how I felt in law school. Why should law school be easy, right? Why? It should be hard. It should be hard if when I get to graduate law school, I get to do what I do and earn what I earn. Same here. It's the same thing. If I could earn $1 million doing this, and Beachbody doesn't guarantee success, but if I can have that kind of income, this kind of life, it shouldn't be easy. we should have to struggle. I want to read a passage from a book, which I'm reading. I'll recommend it. Ray Higdon, he's a network marketing guy. It's called Freakishly Effective Leadership for Network Marketers. And I'm reading this book, and you could read this in 2 days. I actually really like it. Even though I'm not a huge fan of like network marketing books, this one's actually really good. And there's a passage on page 34 that says struggles, or as I like to call them, growing pains, are never ending in this profession because network marketing is based on eternal growth, which is true, right? It's based on eternal growth. Listen to this, with every next level, there is a next devil that you must overcome. Now I'm gonna read that one more time. Like that, literally, I read it to my husband out loud. With every next level, there is a next devil that you must overcome. I truly believe that you grow yourself to the next level, and that in order to grow, you must struggle. The greatest obstacles one faces are self-created. Pride, ego, and fear create far more obstacles than building your team and your network. So I want you right now to get into a state of gratitude, to erase your pride, your ego, or fear, which most of you, the newer coaches on the team, are probably feeling right now, including those of you that are pushing for goals, right? That is self-created. And if you just change your mindset into one of gratitude and relentlessness, and understand that this moment in your coaching career serves a bigger purpose, right? It's not necessarily just about the stage or about the recognition, but it's a stepping stone to what you will accomplish with your life, which I truly believe, because that's what it's done for me, then you will accomplish this goal. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. And if there's any questions, I'll gladly take them.
Hi, Kristina. It's Ashley. I know there's a couple on here because Heather logged in as me to be like, host. Okay, so I have to say, I feel like everyone, I know when Emily and I spoke at Leadership, we were both like, but Kristina Delgado is going to be in the audience. And then when you were hopefully you were there this year when Erin spoke, and she was like, when Doug asked me to speak, I was like, but the queen, Kristina Delgado, is going to be there. And so it's such an honor to have you on the call. And this really was such fire. And even I love, because it is new level, new devil. And, I've been struggling lately with like pregnancy and where do I go next and what do I do? And message like resonated so deeply with me as well. As I'm sure all the new coaches, there's tons of praise in the chat. And I think it was a really powerful thing to say, how would you treat this business if you were earning the kind of money that you want to be earning? Or like I remember one of my early lessons, and I talked about this at Leadership, was hearing Amy Silverman at a Super Saturday say when she was a team of one, she used to act like she could sell out stadiums. Like you act as if that's going to happen, act today. However, that future self, when you reach those goals, are going to. So powerful. Thank you so much. I don't know. I don't see any questions. Does anyone have any questions? Heather, did you have one about her Olympics or something, which is totally kind of a separate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's like probably another call within itself, but I know your team does the Olympics, and you guys give back, and there's a cause, and I know it's near and dear to your hearts this year especially. So I don't know if you want to kind of talk how you rally your team and troops at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll try to do this quickly. So it was born last year after Summit, heading into Leadership. I realized that our team really thrives together, like in a community. You guys know, we love having fun just like you guys. And I wanted to do something that included everybody. And it's funny because I'm reading this book and I'm like, I feel like I'm on the right track, because I really try to include even the discount coaches. And so we created this thing called the Diesel Nation Olympics, our first charity, which one of our core values of our team is charity. We've given, I calculated like $150,000 since we became coaches. As a team or individually, it's just something that I love to do, my sister loves to do. So we picked the Special Olympics last year because my son is autistic, and because I have an autistic son, a lot of our coaches have special needs children, which is, again, a beautiful thing about this opportunity, how it connects people. So we collected money. Everybody that donated, filled out an application, got placed on a team. The teams were separated between levels. New coaches all the way to Star Diamonds were all like on these 5 different teams representative of the Olympic rings. And what we did was we competed against each other. You know, points were assigned for coach signups, for challenge pack sales, for everything. We came up with crazy things. Like if you got on a call with Carl, we would give you points for that. So we blew up the Zoom call because everybody wanted to be, you know, could contribute. For instance, this year, we're going to do points for purchasing. I mean, it's crazy, you guys. For purchasing peppermint mocha, you'll get points, but if you sell peppermint mocha, you'll get more points. And so it becomes like this friendly competition and collaborative effort, and the teams get, you know, competitive with each other and all the leaders have a lot of fun, like, oh, we did this and we're going to beat you. And that's what we do. And we create it during this time of the year when people need to focus on hitting goals. We give points for regaining diamond. And of course, this is kind of arbitrary because we do have a winner at the end and we do special things for the winning team, but people push to regain diamond to get those 100 points, or they push for the Star Diamond rank advancement to get their team points. All those things, rank advancement, get points, and going to Super Saturday, you're going to get points for that too. So I luckily have the best assistant in the world that handles all this crazy. She's a little crazy too. She comes up with a bunch of this stuff, but it's a fun way to just meet people on the team, different people meeting different people, and then build the business during this time of the year more intentionally and purposefully, which is the ultimate goal. Does that make sense? It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I want to see more about it, but so where does the money come in?
So you donate to get into the Olympics.
Oh,
so this year it was a fee. Last year we did it small. This year we're like, oh, let's go a little bit bigger. So we collected a $15 fee that goes straight to the charity of choice in the name of the winning team. So at the end, we will donate that money to the charity, and then we'll create like social media stuff so that they can post that they donated the money. You know what I mean? So that they feel like they did it as the winning team. And then we have a summit luncheon, and we did a champagne toast for the winning team. I did these things because I'm a lanyard whore. Don't get offended by but this is the winning team last year. Their lanyard at Summit, so they got to wear that. So just different special things.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. Have you shared that in the roundtable or something?
I actually did a call with Tanya Barron, and explained it, and I shared all my documents. I'll share that with you guys.
Okay.
It takes some time to wrap your head around, to get all the kind of ducks in the road to execute on it. But once you're in it, it's fun. And like, Emily's speaking. Ashley, if you want to speak, I would love to have you. Heather's speaking. Danielle has already spoken. So we have leaders pop in live and do once a week, they'll do a live training. So there is a training component as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be happy to for sharing this stuff. Okay.
So I have her word now.
Yeah, I know, it's recorded. There's proof. That's amazing. And I feel like it is such a great way to get excited about the business at this time of year. Instead of like people, you know, getting discouraged by it, getting excited, and also for a good cause. So I appreciate you so much for this call, for everything you give to the network, for the light that you bring, for the way that you show up as a leader in the roundtable and in person. I just adore you so much and appreciate, I know you're East Coast time, so appreciate you making this time for us.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
This was so amazing. Thank you, Kristina.
Thank you guys for having me. I hope it was helpful. Talk to you guys later.